Donald Trump has a long list of enemies: Iran, Democrats, the far-left radicals known as the Catholic Church. But there's only one opponent that Trump hates so much that when he goes after them, he actually becomes them.
Donald Trump has never run short of adversaries, but Desi Lydic identified the one rival that defines him better than almost anything else. Windmills. Not a controversy, not a courthouse, not a competitor on primetime television. Windmills. For years, Trump has spoken about them with a peculiar fire, as though rotating metal structures had personally wronged him. On The Daily Show, Lydic did not play that fixation for easy laughs. She traced it back to its origin point. And suddenly, the entire situation looked less like an energy debate and more like a grudge that slipped off a golf course and hijacked national politics. The story starts in Scotland, along the coastline near Aberdeen, where Trump purchased a media estate and pledged to construct one of the finest golf courses on earth. Initially, he described the landscape like someone deeply enchanted by nature. Then the Scottish government approved an offshore wind farm in the vicinity, visible directly from the course. That was the instant the conflict ignited. Not over electricity, not over employment, over the scenery. Stay with this, because that is precisely where Lydic's segment turned devastating. Trump did not merely grumble. He wrote directly to Scottish officials warning that the turbines would damage the nation in ways that history would remember. He challenged the project through the courts. He filed appeals. He pushed the battle as far as the system allowed. And he lost. The turbines were constructed. They remain standing today, rotating near the golf course like a permanent monument to the fact that some things refuse to disappear simply because Donald Trump demands it.
That's right. Whether it's a person from another country or an inanimate object, Trump will do the accent. And you might be saying, wait, Desi, aren't those wind turbines? Yes, they used to be, but Trump calls them windmills, so they're windmills now.
Donald Trump and his Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth called in the nation's top military brass for no other reason than to mock how they look and how much they weigh. But what Jimmy Kimmel revealed about when this strange meeting took place makes the whole thing even more disturbing. Let's begin with the brutal situation already facing the service members who were made to sit through this session. Lydic observed that Trump despises windmills so intensely that he nearly transforms into one whenever he mimics them at campaign rallies. But the deeper punchline was unmistakable. Wind is the single adversary Trump is incapable of subduing. He cannot take it to court. He cannot assign it a mocking nickname. He cannot label it fake news. He cannot sit across from it at a negotiating table. And every time he speaks in an open space, every time a guest arrives at the wrong moment, the entire nation grasps the vulnerability without a single word needing to be spoken. That is precisely why the windmill obsession functions so effectively as satire. It is visual. It is personal. It is political. And it exposes a man who markets absolute dominance yet keeps losing to things that simply continue moving. Courts, documents, facts, and apparently the wind. By the segment's conclusion, Lydic had converted one peculiar fixation into a complete portrait of a personality. She was not merely ridiculing wind energy talking points. She was illustrating how Trump's public method operates. Something causes him discomfort. He reframes it as a national threat. He repeats that threat until his supporters accept it as established fact. Then he performs outrage when anyone traces it back to its original wound. That is why the segment stayed with people long after it ended. The turbines remain upright. The legal battles have concluded. China continues expanding wind energy at an enormous scale. Scientists continue rejecting the cancer assertion. And the breeze continues doing exactly as it pleases. Trump spent years declaring open warfare on windmills. Desi Lydic revealed why the windmills are prevailing. Not because they argue with greater volume, but because they do not argue at all. They simply continue rotating steadily, visibly outside his reach. And for a man whose entire identity is constructed on the foundation of control, that may prove to be the most humiliating opponent imaginable beneath an open sky. Every single rotation serves as a reminder that reality holds no interest in branding strategies, legal threats, dismissive nicknames, or the thunder of rally applause. The blades keep turning. The view remains permanently altered. And the old wound keeps returning because it was never genuinely about energy policy. It was about being told no by a landscape that declined to become yet another Trump property in front of the entire world.